I grew up in a single-parent home. Never knew my father, my mother wouldn't talk about him, and frankly, I never asked. My mother passed away the year I graduated college. But her face was so peaceful, as if she was just sleeping. Maybe she was relieved because I graduated from college and landed a job. That's what I thought back then. The company I work for is a conglomerate, dealing with a myriad of products. I'm in the product development department, exactly where I hope to be. Since childhood, I loved turning ideas into reality, dreaming my creations would someday hit the market. Our CEO built this company from scratch, a real go-getter. Recently, we're keen on bringing in young talent, and the company's performance is skyrocketing. During my internship, hearing about the CEO's character made me want to join this company.
Alex, your idea really turned our project around and it's getting great feedback.
Thank you.
And Alex, can you handle this too? The CEO is happy with how quickly you get things done.
Leave it to me. The section chief, James Praise, always motivated me. I felt lucky to have such supportive boss. But now, in my third year, I'm starting to question things.
James is getting promoted to a director, it seems.
Oh, really?
You see, he's been behind several hit projects lately. Guess it makes sense.
What's with that tone?
You've noticed it too, haven't you?
Well,
He's got a good demeanor and he's savvy with his moves, right?
I know I should be happy about my direct boss promotion.
Hi, Alex. How's everything?
Very good, thank you. The CEO Sean remembers everyone's names and always greets us in the hallways. He's been single since his wife passed away a few years ago.
I hear you've been a great help with James' projects.
Yeah, well.
Is something wrong?
Oh, not at all.
That's good. Well, Alex,
Yes.
I mean, just keep up the good work.
Of course. Over these 3 years, I've realized something. Maybe this is just par for the course in the corporate world. Or maybe, do I try to convince myself of that? Now, I've been tasked with presenting a new product. Yes. I was truly excited. I prepared meticulously every day for the presentation. If it goes well, it could lead to a major contract. I'd possibly be trusted with more projects. It felt like a step closer to my dream. On the day of the presentation, I was supposed to meet James at the business district to catch a taxi going to the client's office together. I checked the documents meticulously until late the night before. Accidentally, I woke up just in time. Oh shoot. I jumped out of bed, hurriedly dressed, and took a shortcut through a nearby park. A bit further on, I heard a young woman's voice from behind and turned around. There was a teenage girl being hassled by a rough-looking guy.
Please. Stop.
What's this so early in the morning? I thought.
Hey, girl, I'm off to the races, but I'm a bit short. Mind lending me some?
I don't have any money.
The guy was a punk with many rough tattoos, looking every bit the troublemaker. I looked around, but there was no one else in sight. I couldn't just ignore it, but honestly, I lack confidence when it comes to strength or stamina. The guy was pretty well built. It was clear I wouldn't stand much of a chance if I intervened. The thing is, the one being hassled was a teenage girl. She was far more vulnerable than me. I spoke up with some courage, though my voice was higher than usual. Hey, what are you doing? The guy turned and glared at me menacingly.
Huh? Who the hell are you?
Aren't you ashamed, a grown man picking on a teenage girl?
Who the hell do you think you're talking to?
To you, I said. I stepped in front of the girl.
Oh really? Perfect. I've been needing some exercise.
The guy sneered with a grin. Honestly, my heart was racing. I'd never been in a fight in my life. As I was thinking so, the guy's hand shot out towards my face and hit its mark. I reeled back and fell over. In the moment I fell, I saw a silhouette getting knocked away with a shout.
Get this.
Man, Jesus.
What? Against the backdrop of the guy's screams, I drifted out of consciousness. I woke up to the sensation of something cold on my face. Then, a girl with a doll-like face and perfect features was peering down at me with concern.
Are you okay?
Whoa! I sprung up in shock. The cold sensation was from the girl pressing a wet handkerchief against my bruised cheek. I couldn't grasp what happened at that moment. Ouch! Oh right, I was punched by that punk. Where's that guy?
He already ran away.
Really? How? When I asked, the girl struck a pose.
I may not look it, but I'm ranked in Aikido and Karate.
Wow, that sounds cool.
When I saw you get punched, I just reacted with a roundhouse kick.
Saying that, she smiled brightly. Turns out, she didn't need my help at all.
But anyway. Thank you for trying to help.
Oh, my pleasure. As my adrenaline faded, I felt a mix of embarrassment and shame for having been knocked out.
By the way, your phone kept ringing.
Oh my God. Her words snapped me back to reality. Checking the time, it was just before 10 a.m. The presentation at the client's office had already started. My goodness, you've got to be kidding. My phone was flooded with frantic calls from James. In a panic, I called back.
Hey Alex, what the heck are you doing?
I'm so sorry. Ran into some trouble.
What trouble? Think only about your business.
I'm on my way now.
It's too late. The contract's gone to another company. How do you plan to take responsibility?
I'm really sorry. But
I don't want excuses. This is all your fault.
I'm afraid, but could you make on behalf of me?
It's your presentation, isn't it?
I was in deep trouble. That thought was swirling in my mind.
Are you okay? What happened?
The teenage girl looked at me with concern. Yeah, I'm fine. I've got to go now. You're okay, right?
Yes.
I rushed to the office in a panic. When I arrived there, James was just leaving. Excuse me, how was the presentation like?
It's already done. You made me look like a fool. And what's with your face?
I got hit.
What?
It was my fault. I knew James wouldn't be able to present in my place. Having worked under him since joining the company, I was aware of his methods. He probably hadn't even looked at the presentation materials, always leaving the work to other team members. Nevertheless, most of the achievements end up credited to James. His role seemed to be just praising the team.
It went well thanks to you. It's all because of your help.
Initially, his praise motivated me to work hard. In fact, when it comes to creating documents, generating ideas, and compiling projects, it's mostly his team members who are actually doing the work. Yet, the harsh reality is that they are merely seen as contributors. My colleagues are aware of that too, but no one speaks up, probably because James is skilled at navigating these waters. He praises while adeptly exploiting. This might be considered a survival tactic in the corporate world, but it doesn't sit well with many. Today's presentation was essentially dumped on me. Had it gone well, he would surely have lavished praise on me again. I can imagine he might even credit me in front of the CEO. Of course, it would be just as his sub. However, my not making it to the presentation on time was something he hadn't anticipated.
Trusting you was a mistake.
James was furious all the way back to the office. But this time, I can't argue. It's true my absence ruined the presentation and lost us the contract. Upon arriving at the office, James took me straight to the manager.
I'm sorry. The presentation failed.
In front of the manager, James deeply apologized. And I did the same. I'm terribly sorry. It's all my fault.
Knowing it was an important presentation, he got into a fight and was late. I'm sorry for my poor judgment of character.
A fight. Is that true?
Well, as I hesitated, the manager looked at my swollen, bruised cheek. That day, all I did was menial tasks. I wonder if I'll get fired. Given James's fury, it seemed unlikely I'd get a chance to explain. Probably, he didn't want to hear any lame excuses from me. It might reveal his own lack of involvement. And yes, I was indeed late. Saying I was helping someone wouldn't cut it as an excuse. Especially since I ended up getting punched, not exactly being helpful. The next day, I was called to the CEO's office with James.
It seems yesterday's presentation didn't go well.
That's totally true. I'm very sorry. Actually, Alex was.
I've heard Alex was late.
Yes, and he got into a fight, of all things.
Oh, really?
Yes. The thought of making excuses now felt futile, and I was at a loss for words.
However, I've heard from your manager that the project itself was well conceived. Wouldn't it have been better if you had presented it?
Well, actually, all the documents were with Alex, so.
What? I was taken aback, knowing that James had the documents.
Even without the documents, if you had worked on the project together, you could have managed. Didn't you grasp the content fully?
That's.
It seems the rumors are true, then.
What rumors?
I've been hearing things. We'll discuss your consequences later.
Wait a second, please.
That's all. Please return to your desk.
The CEO, Sean, usually calm, looked sternly at James, making it clear the discussion was over. James made his shoulders slump and began to leave the office, so I followed behind.
Alex, please stay. I need to speak with you next.
Yes, sure. Hearing that, James looked at me with a faint smirk before leaving. Then, Sean made a phone call.
You can come in now.
I wondered what was going on. To my surprise, the teenage girl from the previous day entered the room. Seeing me, she smiled warmly. Why are you here?
Thank you for yesterday.
What's happening? I couldn't understand why she was there.
She's my daughter.
What?
I'm Megan.
It seems Megan was following you yesterday.
Excuse me. I was utterly confused. Why would she be following me?
I was wondering what Megan was doing, skipping school.
I'm lost here.
Can you imagine? If someone suddenly tells you that you might have an older brother, you'd want to see who it is, right? Dad, there's no need for a DNA test. This brother looks just like you.
You believe so?
Yes. And how this brother recklessly jumps into things despite being weak.
As I blinked in confusion, Sean began to explain slowly. After I joined the company, there were whispers about how much I resembled Sean. Initially, he didn't pay much attention. He thought it was just one of those things, the world is full of lookalikes, after all.
But it kept nagging at me, so I asked HR about your family. And then I saw a familiar name, Ava Dolce. The name of a woman I once loved.
My mother's name.
I had a hunch because of the Dolce surname, but I dismissed it as an improbable coincidence.
Wait a moment. I remembered something odd my mother said when I got the job.
Such things do happen.
When I asked what she meant, she just said.
It's nothing, dear.
She must have known that the company I joined was my father's. Maybe she felt at peace knowing I was at my father's company before she passed away.
Dad almost asked you for a DNA test several times but couldn't bring himself to do it. Dad only recently told me about it, and that's why I wanted to see what kind of person my brother was, so I asked for your address and went to see you.
That was yesterday.
Right. I went to your apartment and just as I was about to approach you, you left in a hurry.
I overslept a bit.
Then that strange guy started talking to you. I couldn't believe you would be so weak.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. So, Sean is my father, and Megan is my half-sister. No, that's a lot to take in all at once.
Thank you for trying to help my daughter yesterday.
No problem. But actually, your daughter is the one who helped me. I scratched my head. Can I ask you something?
What is it?
Why did you and my mother split up?
You want to know?
Yes, please.
It was a silly fight. I had just started the company and was very busy, didn't have time to listen to her. Misunderstandings led to a big argument, and that was that. I had no idea she was pregnant, and there was no contact after that.
I understood. My mother was a very strong-willed person. Once she set her mind on something, she saw it through. I once asked her why she decided to have me on her own.
And what did she say?
She didn't want to think her choice in life was a mistake.
What could that mean?
Because I was the child of the person she truly loved. Not having me would have been like denying those feelings ever existed. My words brought tears to Sean's eyes.
Did you ever ask why she didn't contact me?
She didn't want to disrupt his life. Who needs permission to have their own child, she'd say with a laugh. That was the first and last time she talked about my father.
You got it. Ava was always so headstrong. But that's just like her.
He said that, and tears fell from his eyes. Megan beside me was also dabbing her eyes with her fist.
Ava, she's passed away. That's very regrettable. If only I'd realized sooner, I might have had the chance to meet her. To thank her for raising such a fine son. I wanted to thank her while she was still alive.
Watching Sean cry, tears also started flowing from my eyes.
Men shouldn't cry so easily.
I could almost hear my mother's voice saying that. Mom, these aren't tears. Just water. Afterward, it came to light that most of James's achievements were actually devised and planned by his team members, leading to his demotion and transfer to a regional subsidiary. Since then, I've gone out to eat with Sean and Megan, but to be honest, it still doesn't feel real.
Brother Alex. Over here.
Today, I'm meeting my sister for shopping. Being called brother and walking together feels embarrassingly new to me. Yet, I'm starting to find that having a sister is quite endearing. Plus, it's comforting to know she can handle herself even against intimidating figures. Is that right?